This is Canada. Huge, friendly, wild. Canada is vast. It covers a large part of North America. Right here is where you can see Canada. It's highlighted in yellow. It is north of most of the United States, and it is to the east of Alaska. It is the second largest country in the world. Do you know what the first largest country is? I'll give you a hint. It's in Asia. Even though Canada is big, only 35 million people live there. That's less than the population of California. Whoa! Okay, let's put this in perspective. So Canada takes up all this space, all that space. But there's only as many people in Canada as there is in California, which is a little strip right along the coast here on the west side of the United States. That's why we say Canada is vast. It means it's really big and there's lots of space. More than half of Canada is covered with forests. The forests are home to bears, caribou, and wolves. Canada has thousands of lakes. Do any of you like to go hiking? Have you ever been hiking in a forest? This seems like a really peaceful activity that you might be able to do if you have the opportunity to get out of the house. Can you think of any other animals that are popular in forests? I know beavers used to be very popular in the north and in Canada, and it was actually a major reason why there was a trade that was established in Canada was for beaver pelts. The far north of Canada is cold and icy. Very few trees grow there. Glaciers stretch across the frozen land. So this actually shows a picture of a glacier. So it's a large area of ice. Very little can actually live and grow there. Native Canadians are called First Nations people. Many live in northern Canada. People first came to Canada about 30,000 years ago. And then in the 1600s, the French and the British arrived. They fought to rule Canada. In 1763, the British took control of the country. And in 1931, Canada became a free nation. Canada is made up of 10 provinces and 3 territories. Provinces and territories are very similar to states. If you notice, the provinces are located here on the southern end. The territories are located on the northern end. These territories are very, very large areas of land in which very few people live. The capital of Canada is called Ottawa. It's located in the province of Ontario. Most Canadians live in cities. Toronto is the biggest. Its tall buildings soar into the sky. The second largest city in Canada is Montreal. This picture of this skyline right here of Toronto kind of reminds me of some of our cities here in the United States, like maybe Seattle or Chicago or maybe even New York. Many Canadians speak English and French. English and French. Can you think back to the history as to why now English and French are 2 of the main languages spoken in Canada? At one point, the territories and land of Canada was colonized by the French and the British. And so remember, they fought to be able to take control, and ultimately the British ended up taking control over Canada. But most people in the province of Quebec actually speak French. So you have an area where there's a lot of French that is spoken due to the history. You know, areas in the South are like this, like New Orleans has a lot of a French influence from the French settlers who once lived there. A lot of the current state of affairs in a country, a state, or a city is based off the history and things that have happened there. So here, let's learn a little bit of French. This is how you say hi in French. Salut. Notice that in French, when something ends with a T, we don't pronounce it. That's why in the word ballet, it looks like ballet, but it's actually pronounced ballet. And this is for like ballerinas, the dance of ballerinas. This is how you say snow. La neige. Let's try that again. La neige. Very pretty. There are special police in Canada, and they are called Mounties. Many Mounties get around on horses. Mounties are known for their red uniforms. Canada is famous for maple syrup. The syrup is made from tree sap. First, people collect the sap. Notice how this gentleman is taking a tool and driving that tool into the tree to be able to extract the sap. Then they boil it until it's sweet and sticky. People enjoy maple syrup on pancakes and waffles. Do you all like pancakes and waffles? I know my daughter loves pancakes. In Canada, people love ice hockey. 2 teams that skate on a rink. The players try to whack a puck into the other team's net. Goal! This is what a hockey puck looks like. Hockey is the most popular sport in Canada. kind of is like soccer in that there are 2 goals, and the object of the game is to get the puck, not the ball, but the puck in this case, into that goal. Canadians also like to enjoy the outdoors. In winter, they ski and snowboard. In summer, they hike. Canadians also enjoy swimming in the country's many lakes.
Sam the rat. Sam is a rat. Sam likes jam. Sam the rat likes to put jam on yam. Sam eats the yam.
Some of the funniest people in the world are Canadian. Now, y'all might be a little too young to know, but this gentleman right here, his name is Jim Carrey. And the other one is Martin Short. These are 2 famous comedians who have made many comedy videos and movies. Canadian Lorne Michaels created Saturday Night Live, and it's the best known comedy TV show in history. So that's Canada. Let's review some fast facts and some vocabulary about Canada before we talk about a few different types of activities that you can do at home to celebrate Canadian culture. The capital of Canada is Ottawa. And remember, a capital is a city where the country's government is based. In Mississippi, that would be Jackson. And for the United States, that's Washington, D.C. The main languages are English and French. The money is called the Canadian dollar. Major religions that are practiced in Canada are Christianity and Islam. And the neighboring country is only one, the United States. Here's a cool fact. Canadians eat more macaroni and cheese than people from any other country in the world. Now, I thought we liked mac and cheese, but I guess our friends up north really like mac and cheese. Glaciers, remember, are those large areas of slow-moving rivers of snow and ice. So they're sheets of ice that exist in the most northern parts of Canada. A population is the total number of people living in a place. Sap is the liquid that flows through the trees and carries food and nutrients. And we talked about how what is the product that comes from trees that Canadians harvest. They boil it and it becomes what? Think pancakes, maple syrup. That's right. Canada is vast, V-A-S, and it means huge in size. Remember, Canada is the second largest nation in the entire world, but the population is smaller than that of what state? California. That's right. All right, so let's look at some crafts that will help us to get in touch with the Canadian culture. Remember, there were 3 types of animals that were mentioned in our text. Those were the grizzly bear, the gray wolf, and the caribou. And then I talked a little bit about the beaver and how beaver pelts were a major source of trade within Canada. These are the instructions for how you can create your own beaver puppet. All you need is a paper bag, some white paper, brown paper, child-safe scissors, a black marker or crayon, a glue stick, and if your hands get dirty, maybe a damp cloth. So you'll cut out and you'll make some eyes, some teeth, and a nose. And then you'll use the brown paper to create the limbs and a tail. You'll glue these to your paper bag, and there you have it. You have a beaver puppet. Maybe you don't have a paper bag, but maybe you can use colored paper to help make yourself a moose head made out of handprints. So you'll trace your hands, you'll cut out a shape of sort of like a potato for the moose head, and then you'll attach those hands to the head and then decorate with eyes and a nose. All right, are you ready for our third craft? So remember what the officers in Canada are called. Do you remember? Starts with the letter M. Mounties. These Mounties are notorious for their red that they wear and their brown caps. This is a way for you to be able to take, if you have some clothespins around your house, you can decorate them like a Mountie. Color them with markers and Sharpie in order to create your Mountie. A little bit of colored paper for the hat and the arms, a couple googly eyes, and you are good to go. So